Ryan 1 should be here shortly, and then they'll catch up. So, where were we last time? Oh yeah, so you're exploring the underground base of the Order of Hermes at this point. They've completed their ritual, and something bad happened, and which killed a bunch of cultists. But now you're exploring the sort of blown up ruins, basically, that are left over.
So, and we found a couple of teleportation circles, and one of them went to the Shadowfell, but we made it back. And the other one took us to a beer hall, like an hour across town.
Yes, that's right. So you're guessing at this point the cult leaders are probably escaped, but the rank and file are all dead in the main, basically, ritual hall at this point.
And I think the Sisters of Mercy had found the key to the pillar that was in the middle of the
Yes,
configuration.
the key to the pillar in the center of the ritual. So let me do a quick live share here so I can just show the map. Beep, beep, beep. All right, so let's see here. All right, so here we are. So you guys are here with the sort of dragon symbol room here. This pillar at the north here has a keyhole in it that you now have the key to, that the Sisters of Mercy retrieved by going to this wing over here. You guys have gone to the alchemy lab and the portal room over here in the southeast, as well as this teleportation circle here that will leads to the north end of town, essentially sort of the north nice end of town, to a beer hall. So it's sort of like it's one of those event venue halls that's normally not used except when people are sort of having a large celebration and they pay for the privilege of renting that space out. It's otherwise empty, and all these chairs and tables and linens and cloths and everything are just sort of stored up in storage rooms in the back of the building. So you know exactly where the teleportation address, where this teleportation circle will lead to immediately right now. But it looks, according to your arcane adepts in your own team, like Emma and so on, that this is a normal teleportation circle. In theory, you can teleport to this circle in the north here from anywhere, provided you know this circle's address, which you do at this point.
If you have that
You
spell.
just happen to know it's basically the last place it was used to send people to is a beer hall in the north end of town. However, the circle at this point, however, you had to take a coach back here because the teleportation circle at that point was deactivated. It's no longer active. So whatever residual magics are left in it already are used up after you used it to teleport to the north.
And I think we got a short rest when we came back in the coach. Is that right?
Yes, you got a short rest when you came back into the coach, so people should mark off appropriate short rests to be up to full hit points again, though you may not be up to full spells. Okay, and that is where we begin this session. The members of your band of freelancers are standing in a room marked by tragedy, as there's dozens of charred corpses of some bound and some in robes, in concentric circles around this sort of central draconic symbol in the center of this room. The room is charred and blasted as if some tremendous heat had melted the floor and glassed the walls. The only thing that does not seem to be touched by this arcane conflagration are these, what is it, about 13 columns that dot the side of the room that seem to be made of some black glassy material that, if you look at it carefully, something seems to be squirming underneath its surface. And there's the 13th column is at the sort of mouth of the serpent of the sigil, and it sits alone in the sort of center of the room, ceiling to floor. And unlike the other columns, it visibly is made of like woven together tentacles that seem to grasp from the ceiling and the floor, bonding to get forming this sort of like stone column in the center, like a stalactite. In the center of this column is a simple keyhole, which you have the key to at this point. Other than that, you guys have not fully explored the rest of the lair to the east, which the paladins at this point said there was a big fight in a room in a sort of like game room to the east, and with a whole bunch of ghouls that they managed to defeat, but they had just, like you, they had just managed to finish resting up and returning to sort of the center room at this point, deciding that it was probably the better part of valor not to move on at this point until they basically had recovered some of their health. But you guys yourselves have not gone into the east wing, so which is this whole section off to the right of the map. So,
and then they didn't explore the complete wing; they just got through part of it. Correct?
They pretty much got to the throne room and then finished their fight in there, and then decided to retreat back. So they are resting up in the ritual room just about the time you guys come back. The head paladin, the mistress of battles. Welcome back. I wasn't expecting you to come back quite that direction. Did you manage to basically get ejected out of the underground somehow?
Yes, there's some teleportation circles in here. And so one of them goes to the Shadowfell. I can't recommend that one right now. The other one goes across town to a dance hall, which I think may deserve some investigation later, but it wasn't active by the time we got there. And I think that people may have already escaped out in that direction.
So, cultists. Lieutenant, take the address down. So Lieutenant basically just questions you and takes your statement and address. So, what are our plans now? We have the key to the central pillar here, though I do not relish basically using it, given the effects of the ritual on everybody else in this room. I'm sure it's involved somehow, and that is my gut feeling as a paladin.
And
Other
you
than
said
that,
you
we can
found the key in the throne room, is that right?
Yes, it was hidden in the throne. So this key, I'm assuming if we have a wizard to identify it, will probably identify as a wand of some sort as well. It's about the right size because it's long. It's like a more than a foot long and thin. So,
Lady Emma, do you have identify, or would you like me to do that?
Hold on. Well, I think I could give it a shot.
So
does it also look like a blade?
No, it definitely looks like a wand. It's like
it is not a key blade, then.
A key head on it. So
I find it odd that they left it here. I'm hoping it's not some sort of a trap.
Well, it could be a spare as well. So who knows? They had to leave quickly. So because you guys were going to storm in almost immediately after something bad happened. You went in there immediately after the eldritch fire burned the sky essentially out of this place. So about this period of time, you can see that the sun is beginning to lower in the sky as the sort of ever-present fog of London is reestablishing itself, and you can see like tendrils of mist beginning to pour down into the shaft from the ceiling into the ritual room.
So I think we're going to tell the
Emma
sisters of mercy. Oh, go ahead.
Emma crosses her legs and places the wand in her lap and ponders it as her eyes glow an arcane blue, and she mutters some arcane words to identify the wand/key. It is a wand of revealing. It has 6 charges and can basically reveal the invisible or the hidden.
Like an illusory wall, so to speak.
Illusory walls. So effectively, it does everything true seeing does, except it doesn't have a duration. So it reveals things instantaneously, and if the magic is still going after that, things just sort of revert to the way they were before.
Mm-hmm.
So it reveals secrets, illusions, shapeshifters, that sort of stuff. Extraplanar beings, extra dimensional portals. active teleportation circles, all that type of good stuff. So
But only if we like. It's not like True Saying where you can just look
not like
in an
True Saying, where
area.
it lasts like 10 minutes and you can continue to see stuff. It just like reveals it instantaneously, and if the magic is still going after that, things revert to the way they were before.
But it's not like an active field. You have to like point it at something and guess if something invisible is there, and it might reveal it. Like it's not like True Saying where you just like look at something and can automatically
It has
tell.
an
Oh, that's
area, so you can basically point it in a 20-foot cube and
all right.
reveal the hidden within this area. So
If it's starting to get dark, I think we should tell the Sisters of Mercy about the suntan or the sun block that we found in the lab.
Mm-hmm.
And that we can't count on the vampires not being abroad during the daylight if they have that available to them.
it's very disappointing to hear. That means if the Davenports were here and they are vampires, as you say, they will certainly have gotten away at this point. They don't need minions, in other words, basically to transport them during the day.
Exactly. Of course, we did destroy most of the lab, so they have a limited supply, at least for the time being, until they have a chance to build a lab again. We destroyed some of the equipment that they used to build it, and then Krishana has some more.
I see. Well, good job. So, what say you? The pillar, or do we explore the rest of this lair?
Dirk tends to think that we want to explore the rest of the lair because there may be additional clues about what we should do about the pillar. What do you guys think?
Mack would agree with that logic.
And then that will put us dying from eldritch horrors later in the session, which would be good too.
Yeah.
Lady Emma agrees, and she's gonna keep the wand.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how to use it, so
attunement, you just has charges. You just hold on to it and mark off charges. It recharges 1d6 charges per day.
That sounds like a good
Okay.
plan.
Let's see here. It has no charges expended at this point, so it has its full 6 charges. Okay, so heading out through here, this door has not been opened. This door is opened. You notice essentially a great deal of force was applied to this door. Apparently, it was barred on the other side at some point, but now has been sort of blasted open by the paladins. Just beyond here, well, actually, they busted it back open going this way. Essentially, apparently, the doors didn't open by the time they defeated the ghouls in this room on the far right. So they basically broke down the set of double doors to get back into this room. To the north here, the paladins said, we didn't see anything. There's a window here for whatever weird reason. We can't tell if it actually leads anywhere or if it even shows anything. We can only see inky blackness beyond it. So this sort of like blue line here is a window apparently out into nothing, and a chair that you can sit at, sort of like a comfy sofa type chair here with an ashtray sitting next to it that you can sit in and face the window.
That's interesting.
Do I smell anything other than
a match and a pipe and a box of cigars nearby stashed underneath this chair? That is all we were able to find in this room.
Do I smell anything that is otherwise noteworthy that does not smell like room and burnt corpses?
You can smell the sort of distinct cologne that the male Davenports wear.
That's it.
It sort of like smells like cinnamon and clove, and is a little musky.
I think Dirk
Davenport was here.
Ritually cast detect magic on the window.
It definitely is magical. It's divination. So your educated guess is this is a divination. This is actually a divination, just a scrying tool. So it's a divination tool, just like a crystal ball or a pool of water would be.
Except this one stuck to the wall.
Yeah.
So they could have been watching us at any point.
That's to be assumed, yeah.
Well, that's if they've gotten some good beat on you at some point in the past. So either material linked to you like blood or hair or sample of flesh, or
I'm 99% hair at this point. I think they got a piece of me.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so that is what you see in that room. To the south is a kitchen. So there's various bins with root vegetables, and some of the bins are actually magically cooled and have like meat in them, or poultry or fish, and then there's barrels of wine, and then
Is there
a
any
barrel of
human?
vinegar, a barrel of water. There's some stoves here, essentially, with flues that basically go up into the ceiling. So that, and basically everything pots and pans and everything you might need for kitchenware. You're assuming the actual cultists eat, though the Davenports themselves probably do not.
And those flues have to
Is
be
there any?
going out somewhere.
All right. This double door here is again broken down, except it's broken inwards this way. They had to break their way into this room. Scattered around this room are dozens of corpses of sort of lightly armored ghouls, dressed in Victorian garb, i.e., just normal streetwear, that were apparently left behind for intruders. So it looks like a giant pitched battle went on this room. There's splatters of blood all over the place, scorch marks, and scorch marks from various magics going off. And this table in the center is probably long enough to hold about 13, 14 people. But all the tables and chairs have been like upturned. The table itself is cracked in half. So it's like just a mass battle site in this room. And then at the top of a short flight of 4 stairs is a throne. And behind the throne are distinguished portraits of let me look up the Davenport's names again. 1 second, I can never remember the names they gave these people. There's a picture of Benedict Davenport, the elder of the family, the guy with the red plate mail and wild hair that looks like a lion's mane. And then there's a group portrait of Kevin and Edward Davenport. You definitely met Edward Davenport when you fought him in this room far left here, essentially. The sort of sitting room with the fire. And let's see here. And then a singular portrait of Samantha Davenport, sort of sitting prim and proper and looking pretty on a small on an ottoman in a sort of beautifully dressed, as well as in a beautiful setting, essentially, of what is obviously some sort of grand or opulent hall. With chandeliers and beautiful draperies and otherwise hand-painted wallpaper. All right, so there's the 3 pictures of the 3 Davenports, portraits of 3 Davenports on the back wall here, and then the throne.
I think Dirk is gonna like scrutinize the portrait, so if he needs to make an illusion with any of those images, he'll be able to do it.
Okay, so make an intelligence save.
That was not good.
Okay,
do I want to use my luck on this?
probably, yes.
Okay, yes. Let's try that again. Oh, that was worse.
Oh no.
Okay, so
Okay.
Dirk is peering intently at Samantha's photo. She is very fetching, even though you know all the Davenports are like horribly, horribly evil at this point. But okay, so this is just effectively for later. You have been charmed by one of the Davenports at this point, so you've been mesmerized, as they are using these portraits as a scrying device into this place, and they can affect their mesmerization powers through their portraits. Okay, so if and when that comes up, basically you are actually going to serve the Davenports, probably, and have to make will saves against doing that in the future.
Does anybody else notice that I've acted strangely so that we can do something to the paintings, or we just leave them there?
Yeah, do I notice something as a paladin?
No telling at this point. You just stare at the at the portrait blankly for a little bit and then return to basically with the rest of the team. It's like, well, I didn't see anything special about those paintings, and that's your response.
Can I look at the paintings and see if I could do like an insight check or something if I notice anything?
Likewise, I need an intelligence save as you peer at the paintings deeply.
Oh, it's not 20. 21.
21. All right. You can feel the eye, the red, the reddish eyes of vampire basically staring, the eyes of the portrait staring deeply into your soul as you get this creepy feeling that essentially something is trying to assert control over you.
I'd like Ryan to make all my rolls from now on, please.
All right.
Okay, Zumlar, that's it. That is what you got. Essentially, you've got the feeling that by looking into these paintings, like the Davenports, something is trying to assert control over you.
I will mention this to everyone, saying, "Hey, I think they're using this to scry on us."
What makes you think that?
Well, I could feel like someone's trying to take control of me as I'm looking into the.
Someone looking at me from behind, from through that painting. Someone's trying to invade my mind. The longer I look at those paintings. In fact, I think we probably should do something about basically scanning all the other Sisters of Mercy, as well as the members of our group at this point that have looked at the paintings.
I slowly look at Dirk.
I'll look at Dirk as well.
I feel fine.
Dirk simply shrugs his shoulders, like, well, I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about it.
Isn't that a bit odd that you didn't see anything and he can feel it?
Dirk, I thought you were smart.
A lot of odd things before breakfast.
Should we destroy the paintings? I don't like them.
If it's magical, I don't really know how we would, but give it a shot, I guess.
They're canvas and paint. This is the Mistress of Battle. Looks like sword or fire should be enough. So she motions some of the paladins to go up there basically and tear down the paintings at this point.
I asked the paladins if any of them looked into the paintings.
Like the sister of battle, the head paladin is going. Not like we would know. At this point, I'd say we'd probably need to head back to the priests at this point and have any curses removed that we've picked up by being down there. I have the ability to remove curses, but I'm loath to basically use my 4th level spell, 4th circle prayers up on that purpose right now, especially if we don't have an immediate need.
Well, judging by the fact that it felt like the person or thing was trying to take control of me as I was looking at the painting, I think it's kind of important that we start doing that. Because if someone is under their control, then they may turn on us.
True.
Sister, how would we know if someone has been cursed?
Well, let's see here. We could try detect good and evil. That tends to detect charm and possession.
I have that at 1st level. So I'll start doing detect evil and good.
Okay, so chew up a 1st level slot for that. You're looking over. There's about 50% of the people here in the room at the moment, not including your own team excluded at the moment, except for Dirk, are all marked by some sort of enchantment charm magic. It's like,
is the head paladin under their control or
no?
So I'll let her know in private so the others don't hear.
Well, let's see here. I don't have anywhere near enough magics to get rid of that. Or get rid of this issue. We either retreat back now, essentially, and have the priests of the order take care of it. So Do we retreat back now, or do we trust essentially that the vampires don't have the ability to really hurt us at such a distance?
I wouldn't trust it because they can have other objects in here that they could still project their thoughts through.
So the paladin, all right, well, I have to take the paladins back at this point. I'll expend my fourth circle prayer on your friend Dirk here, but
What? I feel
that is the best I
fine.
can do. All right, so you are no longer under compulsion at this point, Dirk.
Yay.
But at the same time, I cannot send a small contingent back with a large contingent of charmed individuals, because that is most certainly a recipe for something bad to happen. So I'll need to take my full force back with me. Mainly to guard that nothing bad happens to the rest.
Right. So how far
All right,
away is she gonna go?
I will have to take them all the way back up to the surface to where some high priests would be available. Of the order would be available. Otherwise, I don't have the capability. I don't have enough magical power in order to rid this many people of enchantment and charm.
That's a lot of magic.
Do we want to set where we'd like to meet up again, or do we have any way to communicate?
I'll come back down as quickly as possible. If you get into trouble, head back to the ritual room and take the ropes back up. Is what I suggest.
Godspeed, I say.
Godspeed to you as well. As all the paladins sort of tromp out of here, it's like as she orders us. All right, we're retreating to the high priest. We have a curse problem among us at this point. So we think that if we continue on, something unfortuitous will happen to our whole force. So let's move, all of you. As she points to all the paladins and hurries them out of the room back to the ritual room. All right. Okay. So you're in this. You're in the throne room at this point. There is a single exit out of here, a door sort of off to the right behind the throne. So, the paintings with the depicting the Davenports have been destroyed, and that's about where you're at.
Does my when I use detect evil and good, does I detect anything else in the room?
It detects otherworldly beings. So it detects. What is it? People who aren't from around here. So demons, devils, celestials,
Fae,
archons, fae, aberrations, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Out of curiosity, do I get marked or no?
I don't know. What is your race?
I am werewolf, originally human, but
Yes, you are marked as fae, and
yeah.
Strangely enough, you're noticing Emma is also marked as fae at this point, though you're not quite sure what that means.
I was just curious if I showed up.
Yes, you show up because you are a fae creature at this point. There is no doubt you are a fae creature at this point.
Yeah.
But that being said, you also live in the South Wark, which is like where all the fae refugees live. So it's like seeing fae is not a unusual sight in London anymore.
Nah, it's the other stuff.
All the poor area just full of fae at this point.
Like the undead. That's what we're worried about.
Yes.
Should we search this room for any more clues?
Well, it sounds like from the Mistress of Battle they've done a fairly thorough job. They found the wand after all in the throne. Whether or not there's anything else, that's a good question.
She didn't know about the portraits though, so it wouldn't hurt to give it a going over, I think.
Investigation checks for everybody. You need a DC 18 or better to find something new in this room.
Do I get any sort of advantage due to smell?
No, because there is just this. There's viscera and blood spread all over in giant piles all over this room.
Yeah, so okay.
More than 24 ghouls got slain, and
makes sense.
Not a few number of paladins as well.
I got 19 on my perception.
I got a 1.
Okay.
I got a 0. We ain't found shit.
Okay. Zumlar notices through the rips in one of the paintings there appears to be sort of like off-colored tile in the wall. As he sort of unhooks the painting from its mount and sets it to the side, it's like he sort of marks it in a bit of chalk and it's going, well, there's an off-colored tile here. I'm guessing there's some sort of secret compartment behind here. Maybe a safe?
Can I like come over and start trying to like use my very fine werewolf like claws to sort of like peel the tile away, like dig into the grout and like just start get
Yeah,
underneath the
you just
tile?
start digging at the ground. Just like you eventually realize this thing is easily the stone tile or whatever it is. Basically, the fascia to this thing is easily like half a foot thick or something along those lines. So it's not even a tile. It is just like it is the
Ooh.
front of a safe door. So that's within a few moments, you pretty much realize that this is the
Mhm.
front of a safe door of some sort. How it's opened isn't particularly clear. There isn't a keypad. There isn't anything that looks like a safe, like a
Yeah.
What
like
about one of the wands
like the
that we
knob,
took
like
from
the
the
knob on a safe.
cultist?
All right. Well, do you want to use the wand of revealing at this point?
Well, I was thinking that maybe, but I was also thinking we took some wands from the cultists, and that allowed them to open some of the doors that were locked.
That is true.
Can we try one of those and see if it does anything?
Roll D20. You will need 15 or better to happened upon a wand that is the right access.
Okay, and what did you want me to roll?
Just straight D20, 15 or better.
Okay.
You want me to roll for you?
Yes, please. You guys are laughing, but you've watched me roll for over a year, and it's just shite.
16.
All right. So yes, you pull a wand out, tap it to the edge of this thing. A sort of magical transformation happens, revealing a safe handle and a knob. So, i.e., like a modern safe.
Can I use my thieves' tools on that?
All right. So you put a hearing cone up to the safe and start trying to do some safe cracking. DC 23.
Guidance. Wait, never mind. I don't know. I don't have that.
I'll use guidance.
Okay.
And that's 24. I rolled a nat 20 on it.
Right. It takes you the better part of 15 minutes to crack this safe. It is a good safe. It's like carefully finding like sort of like dead ends in the basically tumbler mechanism and false starts and stops, and eventually after a painstaking 15 or so minutes, so everybody's detect magic is down at this point. The you give the handle a twist, and there's a loud chunk as the internal bolts pull aside.
I think Dirk would like to use Mage Hand to like investigate what's going on in there. We can have some dancing lights if
He
it's
waves
dark.
everybody back as okay. So how far back does everybody get? I guess
15 feet.
Okay.
I think Mage Hand goes to 30 feet. Is that right?
Okay. Is everybody further back than 30 feet?
Yeah,
Emma, or
at that point I would be.
Krishana's going over to the wine cabinets.
Well, there aren't any wine cabinets in here, but there are some wine cabinets in the kitchen. So you grab some cooking wine, you take a swig of it, realize that it's really vile to drink cooking wine because it's salty and vinegary, and put it back. All right, you sort of yank open the safe door and duck behind the remnants of some chairs and the main dining hall table. There's a blast of frost that shoots out all the way out to the other side of the room. Those people who have effectively taken cover, which is only Dirk at this point, can have advantage on a con save. Everybody else.
I am hiding behind my shield, so.
Okay,
that
well,
counts.
shield does not help unless you actually have shield mastery. So. Okay, so a crone of frost shoots out from the safe pretty much almost covering the entire room all the way to the back wall. So
I got an 8.
Okay, so full damage is 30, half damage is 15.
And this is cold damage, right?
Cold damage, yes.
I'm not a white werewolf. I'm not used to the snow.
What's the DC?
DC is 16.
That was not good for Dirk.
No, you can't use guidance on con save.
Use resistance.
Yeah, but you'd have to know about it ahead of time or told me about it ahead of time. You can't do it retroactively.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a reaction spell.
Unfortunately.
So if you have a like, what is it? Absorb elements. Certainly you can use it now, but otherwise there's no other spell you can use at this point.
I just like that I'm failing a variety of saves tonight.
All right, everybody basically
Emma's
like
not doing well.
everybody has like 6 inches of ice like formed up on them as they basically sort of bust out like that was horrible. As you can feel your skin like cracking as you try to bust your way out of the ice. It's like some of your fingers are like some people's like pinky and ring finger are blackened at this point. It's like you're going, oh shit. We probably should go back to the sitting room with the fire next to it to warm up. Otherwise I think we're gonna get frostbite and bits are gonna fall off.
Yeah, I think like a short rest in front of the fire would be a magical thing.
I mean, otherwise, we're not really in any danger that I could see, really.
Except that we don't have the hit points to take anything else on now.
Well, that's what I mean. It's not like anything's chasing us down at the moment.
So yeah, let's go back and thaw out and use some hit dice, I think.
All right. As you traverse back from the throne room and back into the ritual room, you notice something bad has happened in this room. Is like as all the corpses of the dead have moved around, essentially. I'm
where'd
going,
all the bodies
those
go?
aren't where they were before. And I don't recall kicking them around. And I don't think the Sisters of Battle would have done that either, but they're literally in different spots. As your disquiet and unease grows, you notice that some of the bits of charred flesh are basically crawling towards each other and forming up new undead horrors.
I'm going to immediately try to stop them from moving towards each other by cutting them into pieces.
Okay, well, I'm saying effectively they're already like new undead horrors. It's like it's not that they haven't formed up yet. That is just creative license on my part, basically describing what the scene looks like when you enter.
Krishana's gonna go get the cooking wine and start dousing the floor.
The cooking wine is definitely not flammable. Let's put it that way.
Never
There
mind.
is cooking oil, like a big barrel of it. However, if you want to like douse the room with it, it's a good 5-gallon barrel if you want to roll it out here.
Yep, that will be what I will do.
Okay, so you're running back to the kitchen. Essentially, it's like kill it with fire.
I'll help her with that because I'm big strong.
All right, so everybody should roll me initiative. You need to beat a 12 to act before the new undead horrors that have spawned in the ritual room.
17.
Okay.
9.
I got a 14 initiative.
6. I suck tonight.
15.
All right, Zumlar and Emma, you are up first. Okay, it's kind of hard to tell exactly how many of them are in that room, but there's a good number of them because there were like at least 30, 40 corpses in there originally. And even if there's half of that number, that's still 20 of them. So it's like, as you see basically bits of bone, charred bone and flesh beginning to scramble together basically and form even more monsters.
So from the doorway, I'm going to use Moonbeam.
All right, so you streak a moonbeam out there. Let's see, picking random clumps of flesh and bone that are trying to glom together. Let's see, how is it doing?
You doused the whole room in oil, right?
He hasn't done it. They haven't done it yet. They don't.
Work
they
in
haven't
progress.
acted on the initiative.
Action,
Yeah. So on their action, Krishna and Mack are going to come running back with a barrel of oil and spill it out into the room, but not until it becomes their action. So.
Depending on how small they are, I'll grab as many as I can hold. So I'm like a big.
Well, I'm saying there is like one big, like 5-gallon barrel of oil there, cooking oil. It's already been sort of staved open at the top, essentially, and there's a ladle sticking out of it. So you and Krishna are pretty much just like grabbing it by the bottom, lifting it like the whole thing up, and basically just tip it over into the room once you get over there. All right, Emma, what are you doing?
They had to make a con.
For the oil to get spilled.
They had to make a con save 13.
Yeah, so they definitely make the con save of 13. So you scorch some of the bits a little bit. The pieces continue to glom together and form something huge and monstrous, as it's like literally its head doesn't even basically fit within the room. Basically, his head is sort of like whatever this undead, like multi-armed monstrosity made of corpses is. Its head sticks way above the level of the room, up into the shaft that had been cut into the ceiling. As you're basically your moonbeam doesn't even reach all the way to the ground, as it's obviously scorching this thing's head, but it's like it's
Fun.
within moments. Essentially, there is some sort of undead giant, undead titan, sort of like sitting in the room. Made up of like dozens and dozens of corpses that have like bonded together. Their sort of charred faces all looking at you and screaming at the same time.
Emma's gonna cast a wall of sand.
Okay.
Don't like sand.
All right. She is glad that she does this, as like sharp charred bits of bone raining down in the general direction of the door. That, by the way, the double door basically is broken down at this point, so that does not offer any cover at this point. You're glad as Emma throws up the wall of sand, and like sharp bits of bone basically plunk into the sand and almost pierce to the other side as they get swept up in the swirling mass of sand and then get thrown into the other portions of the room. So, all right. So Emma has saved everybody from getting shot by a whole bunch of bone shards at this point, and then it acts.
I think.
Okay,
Does
so
Krishana have a 14?
Yeah, you needed 15 or above to beat the undead monstrosity.
Oh, I thought you said it was a 12. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you're right. It was 12. Krishana, you're up.
I will aid Sniffler in bringing the barrel back.
Okay, got it. All right, you and Sniffler. So, okay, so you're going to effectively go on Sniffler's turn once we get to Sniffler's turn. All right. All right. Though you cannot see it through the wall of sand, the undead monstrosity rears back and basically tries to pierce through the wall of sand as bits and pieces of it get ablated as it tries to basically shove its way through. It uses up all of its movement effectively to get to the other side, as you're beginning to see like bits of bone and faces of the dead, charred bits of the dead basically beginning to pierce through the wall on the far side. And it ends its turn there, basically having used up all its movement to get through the wall. All right, and then now Sniffler and Krishana.
I start hefting the barrel, and I run back out into the room, and I see this thing basically burgeon through the doorway, and I just sort of chuck
itself through the wall of sand. Yes.
Yeah, so it's like between the wall of sand and the wall where we came in through the door, but obviously you can't fit through the door. So I just like chuck the
two of you basically coordinate and spray all 5 gallons of oil all over it. So
yeah.
All right, got it. Just roll me a d20 athletics roll, DC 10 to basically generally put it in the right place.
Oh, I'm good at that.
Your advantage because Krishana is helping you.
22.
Okay, no problem. All right, you put the oil exactly where you want it, coating the bits of undead monstrosity that are peeking out of the wall of sand. All right, Dirk.
Okay, Dirk's gonna have his mage hand grab a torch or a candle or whatever we've got burning, or something from the fire, right? To go over.
There is nothing burning on this side of the lair. Let's put it that way. Everything is magically lit right there.
Okay. Can I light a candle as a free action and then have mage hand go throw it on it?
Sure, why not? All right. You basically pull out a book of matches and send your mage hand over and strike the matches against a wall and fling them on the exposed bits of undead monstrosity. Okay, roll me a d20. Since cooking oil is definitely not like kerosene.
It'll
Ryan,
catch.
can
but
you
it
roll
needs
for
some...
me, please? You're laughing.
You're gonna have
Yeah.
to face the music eventually, Tree.
I've rolled a few times.
You got a 19.
All right.
See, you have vested interest in that, right?
You catch some misted oil, and the whole front of the wall of sand lights with a bright orange and red flames as the cooking oil begins to burn merrily. There's a sort of unearthly wail of the dead coming from the wall at this point, as bits and pieces of the dead basically begin to retreat into the sand as they try to douse themselves in the wall of sand. Okay, so let's see. Beginning of round people. So that was Emma, Zumlar, and
Yep.
Krishana, right?
Yeah.
So let's start with Zumlar. What are you doing? It begins to retreat. It begins to pull back into the wall of sand at this point, trying to put itself out.
Whatever bits are visible, I'll use Sacred Flame on.
Okay, got it. Okay, give me full damage. Actually, give me double damage. It has vulnerability to radiant damage.
8.
Okay, so that is probably should be 4d8. So
Hmm?
And then I think
It
he
takes
gets
double
to
damage.
move
Oh.
Moonbeam, right, to keep up with it as a bonus action.
So 4d8, it's going to be 28. Or sorry, 18. Not
Got
20.
18 total. All right, got it. All right, you scorch it as it sort of like shuffles back into the wall of sand and disappears into the wall of sand. At this point, your moonbeam can't seem to affect it because you technically can't see it. As you're trying to figure out where exactly it is, as you're sort of randomly moving the moonbeam around in the wall of sand in the area beyond, you're not quite sure if you've got it on target at the moment. Okay, let's see here. So that was then Lady Emma at this point. Can you move this thing around or not? Let's see.
Can Lady Emma control the flame for the flaming wall of sand?
Well, I'm saying the undead monstrosity has retreated back into the wall of sand, and the wall of sand has put out the fire at this point. So it took some amount of damage from the initial being lit on fire, but now it seems to be smart enough essentially to use its environment around it to put out the fire. So it's retreated back into the wall of sand at this point.
Okay, I'm gonna use my mold earth control and mold the remaining sand kind of around it and see if it can get it.
That's a smart use of molder. Sure, why not? I'll allow you to do that. So you create a hole in your wall of sand so you can see it. Okay, so everybody got about a 3-foot hole you can see through the wall of sand at this point, and you can see the undead monstrosity has sort of retreated to the far back side of the room at this point and seems to be patiently waiting for the wall of sand to go away. Okay, and then Krishana.
I am going to follow the Paladin and cast Sacred Flame on the monstrosity, DC 14.
Okay. All right. It does not seem to be affected by the sacred flame as it sort of shrugs it off. About this period of time, you can see it begin to climb up and away through your sort of viewport in the wall of sand as it climbs up the shaft and up and away from you guys. At this point, you figure, well, you probably don't have to worry about it anymore because there's a whole bunch of paladins up there and priests. They'll probably take care of it.
Yeah, they should be feeling better by now.
Should we somehow alert them if we can?
Well, you don't have anything like sending stones, so unless you want to use a sending spell or have the message cantrip, that's on you to basically do that.
Dirk has telepathy, but I don't think it's going to go that far.
No, it does not. Essentially, you have to be able to see your telepathic target for your racial ability. So
Do paladins
for the
get
future, if you want to basically if they would send do walkie-talkie messages, you need to have the sending spell or the message getter. So that or buy sending stones. So
do paladins get the sending cantrip?
I don't think at base, no.
paladins do not get the second level spell sending at any point.
I bet that we can get the Sisters of Mercy to hook us up.
Well, you can always get it on scroll. Let's put it that way, which is a really common way of basically messaging people around here. So, if you need to reach out to somebody, you can always buy sending scrolls. I think they're about 100 gold apiece. So, all right. So the monstrosity, you see the monstrosity climb up the shaft and up and away. You give it a good minute or so. Essentially, it doesn't seem to come back at that point, and Lady Emma lowers her wall of sand as all the grains of sand essentially mysteriously flow into the floor, and crevices, and disappear. There's the whole ritual room is denuded of any corpses at this point. Even the splotches of blood on the wall seem to have been scrubbed clean, sort of presenting this sort of like, except for the obvious scorch marks where eldritch fire touched everything. It doesn't look like anybody was sacrificed in this room before.
Actually smells kind of good in here now.
You guys sure do know how to clean up.
About so you're entering this room about the time you get to the far door at this point and are checking the door at this point. You notice that it is some sort of eldritch lock has been applied to it at this point, and you're going, well, shit.
It just occurred to me, what if the fuckwad Davenport came back? What if he reanimated all these corpses and put this lock here? Because this wasn't here, 15 minutes ago?
Right, and he could have been scrying to see when to do that. Or he could
Plus,
have left a contingency spell of some kind.
That picture, we saw the picture, and she could have easily told him about it. Who knows how fast they can move around down here?
Have we found a fire to thaw out yet a little bit?
No, I'm saying you haven't. The only logical room is the sitting room with the hearth in it. That actually had a real warm fire in it. Everything else around here is all lit by magical lighting, essentially.
And we were headed there until we had to come across this room.
Yeah.
Until you came across a ritual room with the giant undead monstrosity that is now climbing out of the hole like a kaiju at this point to encounter a large contingent of paladins. So
I'm just
it's
waiting
probably
eagerly.
gonna get destroyed at this point, but
Yeah, I'm just eagerly waiting for a giant pile of flesh to come falling back down the hole.
yes.
Do we want to see if some of the cultist wands would work on this lock like it did the ones the other session?
You take out your higher end wands at this point, and you're noticing essentially. You try all 10 of them that you happen to have, and it's you cycle through all of them, and none of them work. It's as if the lock has been changed.
What about the Wand of Illusions? Wasn't that also supposed to be a key?
Well, do you want to try to use the Wand of Revelation?
Nobody has dispel magic, right?
That is correct.
I do. Right. Maybe?
What? How do you have dispel magic this early on? You're a paladin.
Hold on. I literally just said maybe. Hold on. No. Never mind.
Do you have dark
Can I
vision?
I'm a larger elf, so yes.
I'm saying amongst you, at least someone among you. We're gonna assume at least Mack has dark vision as well.
I'm sorry, that's just the one where everybody speaks up. No, I don't have it. Yes, I do. Okay. It's been,
I am an Elijah elf, so I guess I do have dark vision.
Okay, cool. So,
all right, you can attempt to thieves' tools your way through arcane lock. You can try to use brute strength to get past them, but both of those methods are really quite hard. So So Arcane Lock is just a magic spell that locks things, basically using magic and seals the portal. The Wand of Revelation, you could try it if you want to. So that's something to be tried.
I was about to suggest that, so we'll give that a try.
Okay. So let's see here. The Wand of Revelation reveals that the door is in fact not locked. It is such a powerful illusion, essentially, it just makes you believe it's locked.
Oh, damn.
Unfortunately, at the same time, using the Wand of Revelation in the ritual room, like everybody sees the true nature of this room as there's this roaring portal to basically hell, sort of like suspended in the middle of the room, like with its focal point being that pillar. As you all look through the hell gate, I need a wisdom saves.
Are we all close enough to Zumlar to get his boost?
Sure, why not?
And since as a paladin,
He's sort of like, wow, where did this lurid red glow come from? As you all turn around to look at once and regret it immediately.
as a holy paladin, do I get a advantage?
No, you get your protective aura just like as normal for a paladin.
Wait, you don't have Aura of Protection yet, do you? That's at level 6, isn't it?
I think it is level 6.
So I very distinctly remember that's why Alan was only 6 levels in Paladin, was to get Aura of Protection.
Hold on, I'm checking.
Dirk actually got a 22 through some miracle of fate.
Yep, Aura of Protection is at 6.
Okay, so
Speaking
everybody
of
rolls their
6,
wisdom saves as normal.
That's what I got. I got a 6.
Ouch.
I got a 15 plus. What was it? What was it? You said wisdom
Okay,
save?
DC is 16. Half damage is 7 psychic damage. Full damage is 15 psychic damage. And if you fail, you lose 1 point of wisdom.
So 1/2
Like-
is 7, you said?
1/2 is 7, yes.
1 point
So-
as in, like, I have 12 wisdom, which is plus
Your
1.
wisdom goes down to 11.
Okay.
This
So-
stuff can be healed with greater restoration or 1 months of rest.
So Dirk is down to 1 HP. Did
Wow.
anybody go down?
I am down to 6.
I am
The
down to
big bad
33.
wolf.
But I do
I'm
have
at
cure
half of my
wounds.
hit points.
Mack is just sort of clutching his head in his hands and isn't saying anything.
Krishana, how many did you have? I couldn't quite hear.
I got 16 hit points.
16, okay. Lady Emma, how many do you have?
I've got 18.
All right. So everybody's eyes bleed as they basically see horrors that were not meant to be seen by man. As you all shield your eyes immediately after looking into the hell portal, you're like, okay, that was bad. That was bad. As the wands of revelations effects slowly dwindle into nothingness, and the scene returns back to some sense of normality, not basically writhing flesh, basically permanently in hell. As you
Oh, look. Rylo's back.
let's see here. Because I guess Zumlar is just one of those people that generally takes the forward position. He's just like, he shoves open the door at this point. Okay, let us go before basically something else shitty happens.
Yep.
All right.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have necrotic and radiant resistance, like celestial resistance. Does that mean that I'm resisting some of these curses and stuff, or am I still taking damage?
In this case, it's psychic damage. If it's radiant damage is like holy damage, and necrotic damage is like what is it? Cause wounds, or a lot of undead can do necrotic damage by causing you to rot.
Blight.
Blight
Okay, gotcha.
is necrotic damage, for instance. So in this case, this is psychic damage, as you take mental damage from seeing things that were not meant to be seen.
Looked at an Elder Scroll.
You have looked into basically the maw of chaos and basically been found wanting.
Gotcha.
All right, so all of you are basically shielding. It's like, oh, okay, I did not need to see that. I did not need to see that. You wander out into the hallway. So you guys are in this hallway at this point. There's bits of ghoul, like chopped up ghoul, like scattered up and down this hallway from the the mausoleum to the north here that the paladins took care of earlier. As you head back into the sitting room, a vaguely smiling portrait of what is it, Benedict, the elder Davenport, presides over this place as he sort of looks down upon all of you.
I
Does
want to
anyone else have a
destroy it.
bad feeling about that painting?
Yeah, let's.
You pretty much pull the painting off the wall, pull the painting off the mantle, and toss it into the fire. It makes a lovely crackling noise as the oil paint begins to catch.
Cast it into the fire!
Right.
We should
Krishana
write a
makes her
song
way
about
over
this.
Krishana makes her way over to the wet bar and pours herself a stiff drink and asks if anybody else would like one.
I think I will.
I think Dirk will take one and then he's just gonna toss it on his face. And
Immediately regrets that as all the cracked bits of his skin from the cone of cold, basically, alcohol gets into them. It's like, ah!
So then I think
I'll
he's
take
gonna
a
jump up
drink.
and down and pat his face.
It's like you feel like your face is on fire at this point, but just like it's like,
That's better than frozen. I'll take it.
yes. All right, you're all huddled around the hearth at this point as
And then if we're gonna do a
bits of
short
frost
rest,
begin to rivulets of frost melt into water, and as you all like form up like 1 or 2 foot puddles of water around yourself as the ice begins to steam off your clothing and armor and fur.
Yeah, I move over into a far corner away from everyone and just do like shake myself off, and then I go back to the fire and curl up. But I am trying to pay like acute attention to hearing.
Dirk is gonna cast Song of Rest. So if anybody does any healing, they'll get an extra 1d6.
So
They
I
do
need
short
everybody
rest.
to roll me a
And Krishana will join you with that, so you get another 1d6.
yes. Starting with 2d6 free healing for the short rest, and then even before spending it dice. Okay, so while you're taking your short rest, I need a. Okay, everybody roll me a. Let's see, what should we roll? Okay, everybody roll me a d12. Tell me if roll a 12 or a 1.
I got a 1. Fuck.
I got 12.
6.
Okay.
Oh, before
Bingo?
I do a short rest, I am going to cast Cure Wounds on 2 people.
Okay. You do so.
Can I go into like a trance? Because for like long rest for me is like only 4 hours.
Yeah, but I'm saying you only are gonna have an hour. It's like if you actually
Oh, okay.
spend 4 hours here, you will absolutely encounter something.
Yeah.
There will be no random encounter roll at that point, and you will not get a long rest.
I'm also gonna down my healing potion.
Okay, that's not a bad idea because I think you guys already have taken a short rest, so you probably are relatively low on hit dice. So. All right. As you rest up there's a tense moment as what is it? I should roll randomly who this thing attacks.
Are those healing potions 1d8 plus 4? Is that right?
Well, it's 1d8 plus 2, or
Okay.
the standard is actually 2d4 plus 2, but I just like rolling 1d8 because it's faster. All right, so let's see here. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Dirk's feeling a lot better after a little warm up by the fire.
Okay. As you rest, as you spend an hour bandaging yourselves and resting up, the Lady Emma and Mack, who are basically sitting like directly in front of the fire, casting long shadows behind them. It's like before anybody can react, their shadows basically animate and try to strangle the life out of them. I need con saves for the two of you.
Are you? I got an 8 again.
Okay.
Okay. 21.
21. Okay. All right. So Emma, you take 4 points of necrotic damage, which you have to 2 because you're resistant to necrotic damage. Mac, you take 4 points of necrotic damage and lose 3 points of strength.
Ouch.
This one can be more easily restored, however, with lesser restoration. So someone can cast lesser restoration on you, that can be fixed.
Yeah, that's kind of big for me.
I'm gonna just go ahead and give you bardic inspiration now, Mac, for whatever happens next.
I think I need it.
I think like, you know,
Okay, so does anybody have lesser restoration that can toss down at this point?
no.
It's after the short rest, so the warlock people So Krishana's spell slots are back. Zumlar, I assume you have some second level spell slots left.
Yeah, I don't. Do I get a lesser? Yeah.
Pretty sure paladins get lesser restoration. So
They get both, yeah. But 5th levels into like level 17 or something for paladins.
So I think you have like 2 second level spell slots. So
Yeah, I only have 2 at 5th level. So yeah, I'll hit him with a lesser restoration.
okay, so use up one of your second level spell slots. Okay? So Mac shriveled up a little bit. His muscles appeared more flaxen and weak. Then suddenly he bulks up again, like a balloon.
Whoa! Oh, whoa! That was. Oh, thanks. That helps a lot.
That's why I'm here.
Emma's and Mac's shadow seem to be basically making rude gestures at them and mocking them at this point.
This fucking place is haunted.
Okay, let's see here. All right, you have your short rest at this point. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so heading back to the throne room. Back the way you came. Okay, so there's the one door over here. Do you want to go over here to the north? Here.
I think he's trying to tell us something.
Yeah.
I'd say that's the only obvious place to go at this point, unless you want to leave. Unless you want to.
That was where the exit went. So yeah, let's go ahead and check that.
So we know
Right
that
over there are there's 2 there's like one there's like 3 adult-sized beds and then 2 beds for children. They're they're all quite well appointed. They have silk sheets and brocade duvets and like thick down covers. If you pull away the top sheets, especially for the 3 adult-sized beds, you notice essentially directly underneath the sheets, you sort of like touch the sheets, and there's a sort of grainy material directly underneath the sheets, and as you pull aside those sheets, there's grave dirt, like blackened dirt with like little sparkly bits of quartz in it, all scattered across the surface of the bed. And then there's 2 beds that are obviously for children or like short people, like Dirk, essentially. So
They also have the grave dirt in them.
they do not. So.
Okay. Well, I think.
Yeah, the 3 to some degree, you're guessing makes sense. These might belong to the Davenports as a sort of a way temporary site to go into torpor in during the day. As for why there's like 2 beds for children in here is like not quite clear. There are chests at the edge of each bed, but the chest at the edge of each of the adult-sized beds is open, and as far as you can tell, doesn't contain anything particularly useful in there. There's one of them contains a pillow in it, but the other 2 are empty. The child like steamer chests at the end of the children's beds are still shut. Okay, and then there's a stairwell that sort of leads up from here. So in the south end of the room. So what do you want to do here? You can certainly turn over the beds and search them if you want to. Open the steamer chests, check for traps. These are all reasonable things to do.
Can I look for clues to see where the Davenports might have gone off to?
Okay, so you're looking for clues at this point. So you're hoping a note or a diary or something along those lines. Just looking at their bedding and knowing where they went up to doesn't seem very valuable. You do grab some of the dirt, however, and it's like this might have come from a local graveyard. This might be useful insofar as like tracking it down to a mausoleum or graveyard near in or around London. So you grab some of that. That's obvious stuff that you grab. Other things I need investigation checks for. So higher better.
Unnatural 20.
Okay.
Nice.
You find a scrap of paper that has been stuffed in the pillowcase of one of the children's beds. It's like, and it reads in a fine, basically a meticulous, noble's hand. So, i.e., it's obviously written by someone who is educated. The letters are neat and crisp and lined up, and not like a random scrawl that's like a commoner might have. It's like, to whoever may find this, the Davenports have captured me. I am a nephew, fifth removed, of Henry, our Lord and Savior and King. He's like, my name is Edward. I have the Davenports have captured me I assume at the behest of my uncle. It's like, should you find this note, please try to free me.
Can I smell the note? I assume it smells distinct compared to other things around here?
It does. It definitely has the scent of like it has a scent of an aristocrat. It has a scent of soap and lavender and basically someone who is bathed. Which is annoyingly enough is uncommon in the South Ward. Let's put it that way. It's like someone who pays often is not something that's very common in the South Ward.
Can I do a history check?
Yeah, sure. You have advantage on this since you actually due to your history, your background.
This one
Right,
reads.
so yes, you know of Edward and the Duke of Wellington. His son is a sort of a bastard heir from a mistress that is a great embarrassment to the Duke of Wellington. So the Wellington family would simply as soon have this son disappear, quote unquote. The Edward also has a sister named Edwina that was they're twins. They were born at the same time. So both of them essentially bear this stigma. So you're guessing the 2 beds are for Ed and Edwina.
All the way down here? Something doesn't add up.
Insofar as the Davenports probably captured them and kidnapped them and put them in the lair for safekeeping, essentially it makes that amount of sense.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be likely to have anybody looking for them down here.
Yeah, and there's a whole army of ghouls and cultists in here to keep them in place. Let's put it that way.
Can I check the chests for traps?
All right, DC 15 check for the steamer chests to look for traps and or interesting items.
Natural 20 for 23.
No problem. All right, the children's steamer chests, when you open them up, there's nightgowns and clothing for probably 11 or 12-year-old, you're guessing. One for a woman, one for a boy, one for a girl, one set for a boy, one set for a girl. So they're fine linen, and there's a fine linen set and a silk set, and as well as sort of like a toiletry kit, like soap and brushes and toothbrush and a small wash basin. You're noticing there isn't anything that sort of looks like a lavatory, a bathroom in here. Essentially, there's no wash basin in here, so you're guessing that must exist somewhere else within the lair.
Would Mac be able to get a scent off of the night clothes? That's better.
He has the scent at this point. He has both of their scents. There is a rag doll with black, sort of like obsidian bead eyes, sort of right there. So just sort of think of Raggedy Ann, except the dress is like made of like some red, sort of like scarlet red material with a golden resplendent lion on it. So which is the noble crest of the House of Henry. So. Of the Duke of Wellington. So I'm sorry, Duke of Wellington.
Is there any way we can get rid of this dirt in the bed so that if they end up back down here, they can't use it?
Well, you could consecrate this area if your paladin is willing to basically spend a first level spell slot on this. So you'll need to use up probably like your 3 vials of whoever has holy waters, a vial apiece to do the consecration ceremony. And we'll just say he has to spend 1 spell slot to do it.
Zumlar, could we do that? I'll pitch in one of the holy waters.
Let me see if I have one.
I think we all got one.
We all should have at least one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think there were like 5 of them in the alchemical lab. So
I'm thinking we all got 3, but I know we all for sure got.
Oh, never mind. I remember the Sisters of Mercy gave you some. It's like, we're gonna be fighting undead. If you're gonna fight vampires, it was part of the vampire slaying kit, like with the stakes and
right.
and the holy one.
I'll pitch in one.
The beds don't happen to have the adult beds don't happen to have anything particularly useful in them. The Zumlar, not Zumlar, but Mack sedates. They sort of smell like the Davenports, the same cologne, the same perfume. So. Okay. All right. Well, that is what you find in this room. There are no secret exits out of this room. There is just a stairwell leading up and the door you came in through. So, are you going up at this point?
I think we need to clear what else is here. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Hey, did anybody take my cure wounds? Who took those?
Oh, I would gladly take 1 at least.
That's 6 HP. Another one, someone? Because I'll take it.
Yeah, I think go ahead, because I used a couple of potions in my remaining hit die, so I'm back close to top. And I think we were the 3 that were down the lowest, right?
Yeah. Okay. Heading up the stairwell. Let's see here. Give me perception checks, because at this point you're generally convinced most of this place is trapped. So perception or investigation, DC 15 to spot unusual stuff on the stairwell.
Okay.
I got a 20.
Okay, so there's a whole bunch of you. So looking like everybody that can ritually cast detect magic, cast it before you head up the stairwell. You can see like a visible glowing like panel of like a trap line pretty much in the middle of the stairwell just before you reach the basically flat sort of like the halfway point in the stairwell. You can see a visible trap line going all the way around the passageway.
So I was talking, I don't know if anyone heard me saying that I would do the ritual.
No, we didn't hear you, sorry.
So I thought you were having a tech issue, so I'm glad you're back. So
just use a first level slot essentially to consecrate the graves of the dead at this point. So we need to chew up 3 bottles of holy water and then 1 first level spell slot. We're just gonna assume basically clerics and paladins can do like religious rituals basically by spending first level spell slots.
Okay.
It's not a spell per se, and we're not going to use the actual ritual spell. We're not going to use the ceremony cantrip or ceremony spell.
All right.
Okay. All right. You say a prayer to. Okay. So which god do you worship, by the way?
I think it was one of the ancient ones.
Okay. So you basically make a call to the lords of Tir na Nog, essentially the lords of the dawn, to like rid this place of evil, that evil may never find purchase and rest here, as each bed sort of glows with a slight glow as you sprinkle holy water over it, so they won't find a warm welcome here anymore if they try to rest here anymore. Okay, so there's a magical trap line, sort of all of you with detect magic can see a spidery wall of runes that sort of like wiggle back and forth. Sort of reading off the runes, you're sort of looking at it carefully. It's like, okay, well, this is another powerful frost trap. I don't know if it's going to be as powerful as the one on the safe, but
Oh, that's right. Do we know what's in the safe?
oh, that's that I forgot. Okay, so eventually you go and look back at the safe.
Good point. Yeah.
There are numerous papers in here and some sort of ledger. As the papers you're sort of realizing are scrolls. There's 3 of them. One of them is the blight spell. Another of them is teleportation circle, and another of them is what is it? It's like, apparently it's some sort of emergency teleport, where you rip up. It doesn't require you to read it. You rip it. It's a magic item. You rip it up and it teleports you wherever the thing is targeted to go to, which is not entirely clear just by reading the scroll at the moment. The book is in code, and your initial detect magic sort of like also indicate it has a powerful magical trap on it. So you're going, we're definitely not given how powerful the trap on the safe was. I don't want to find out how powerful the traps on stuff inside the safe are. So we're not opening this book right now.
That may be something for the Sisters of Mercy, and then maybe we want to split up the scrolls and have Ryan take one of the teleportations. What? Ryan,
Well, there's teleportation circle. There's an emergency teleport item, and there is blight.
Maybe Zumlar can take the emergency teleport because he can just rip it, and then Lady Emma, can you do teleportation circle?
I'd be cautious about that emergency. It might just deliver us to them in a gold platter.
I mean, if they weren't expecting us to open the safe, I doubt they would expect someone like us to get access to the emergency eject scroll.
It doesn't hurt to be careful. I agree with that, but can we do insight on that?
Well, fundamentally, no insight required. You're all of the belief essentially. If we ever use the scroll, we better be at full strength. We better not. Better not be an emergency for us. Let's put it that way. Okay. Otherwise, we are going to another one of these layers.
Okay, cool. And then, and then maybe, Krishana, maybe you can take the blight one. Is that a good one for you?
Can't Emma write these down in her book?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
So Emma isn't quite accomplished a wizard as she needs to be to master these spells now, but you can cast them from the scrolls if you need to. So she can scribe them into her book once she is appropriate level, which is I think 9th.
Yeah, I believe at 9th level, full casters get 5th level.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the meantime, it's a free cast of teleportation circle, which can effectively take you anywhere another teleportation circle is, which is pretty much every major city in Europe. That's about.
And We know
Okay,
here
so
there's the one at the dance hall, and there's also the one, a couple of doors down. So we even know a couple local.
yes, you even know the people locally at this point. You
How
also know
far
that
up
there's a
this?
teleportation circle at the. You also know there's a teleportation circle at the Westminster, in the High Temple of the One God, and at supposedly in the basement of Parliament. There's rumor on the street that there's a teleportation circle, but none of you are so well connected as to be able to verify that.
I don't want to pop up there uninvited.
Probably not a bad
Desperate.
idea. That is probably a bad idea. You will probably get arrested. Yes, exactly. Uh,
So how far? Thinking about these stairs, how far up is the
so the flight of
tripwire?
stairs, sort of like on the first turn of the stairs, there is a magical trap.
Oh,
It is frost based, and you're trying to figure out. Okay, well, we can try to use thieves' tools to get past this, or alternately, if we have pets or other not so valuable companions, we can
yeah.
send them to discharge
Well,
it.
Mage Hand will go to 30 feet. So if we were all down on the other around the corner and we sent Mage Hand up, is it more than 30 feet up from the door?
Sort of swing your mage hand through the trap line. Apparently, that is not the triggering.
Hmm,
Your mage hand apparently isn't triggering it.
okay. Can anybody throw anything up there?
Normally when you cast glyphs, you specify a normal condition that can be seen through your normal five senses. Only allow we three Davenports to pass through here unharmed, for instance. So
Only undead may pass through here, etc., etc.
I don't think anybody has a pet or a familiar, do they?
I can summon in something, but it can only get within 30 feet.
that's more than enough. So if you want to send your echo up there to basically trigger the trap, that'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do.
Okay, so Mack basically calls upon the Fey magic and creates an illusionary double of himself that rushes up the stairs and rounds the corner. And there's a blast of frost and cold that fills the whole top of the corridor, this whole top of the stairwell, rhyming everything with ice and frost. As you all can see your breath for the next minute or so, as the air is visibly cooled down to super cold temperatures, and then at that point it's well, I think it's discharged as you head up the first flight of stairs. After going up the first flight of stairs, you arrive at this landing. There's a huge bed here, essentially wide enough to basically fit probably four people comfortably. So it's two California kings stuck together. In one, off to one side of the room, you could see a sort of dressing table with rather than a mirror, there is a bust of a sort of powerful looking man that sort of looks like Benedict Davenport. Off to your right, you can see a full standing mirror, which you find weird. If Davenport is actually a vampire, they can't see themselves in the mirror, so why have a mirror? And so the room is effectively dominated by a sort of dresser drawer on the left hand side. Obviously, the bed in the center, dresser drawer to the left, mirror to the right. So, and then
I'm going to destroy the bust, just to be on the safe side.
All right. You destroy. Do you have a hammer or something, or a mace?
I have no.
Pretty sure you have a sword, so it's like that.
Yeah, I have a sword.
That is not conducive to whacking on a statue with, unless you want to ruin the blade.
Can I just put it on the floor and just whack it with my shield?
Sure.
Kind of like Captain America.
Down. You tip the statue down, and then the whole bed basically lifts up like one of those foldaway beds, revealing Murphy beds, revealing a sort of a coffin in a slight depression.
Anything in the coffin?
It is closed.
I'm going to torch the coffin.
All right. Well, you are in an enclosed underground area, so setting fire things in here basically doesn't seem to be an incredibly great idea because it uses up all the oxygen. So.
I have an intelligence score of 8. I wouldn't know that.
Well, I think we definitely want to check and see if there's anything else here before we burn everything down. So,
Okay,
Dirk
so
would
I
like
need,
to do detect magic on the mirror and see if it's another scrying portal.
okay, I need a what is it? I need a charisma save.
Everyone's great at those, right?
18.
All right. You're sort of looking at yourself in the mirror. You notice you don't remember winking, but the image in the mirror winks back at you.
How you doing, good looking? Just looking at yourself.
But you're noticing other people in the room. Basically, it's like you're trying to match your image and then other people's images. You're noticing other people's images in the room are not matching up with them either at this point.
So it sounds like it's definitely coming up magical. Do I have any idea what it is?
About that period of time, you notice essentially. Let's see here. Okay, so I need charisma saves from everybody at this point.
Oh boy.
16.
11.
Remember, you have bardic inspiration.
Oh yeah, I'll probably
And
let
do
me
you
throw that
still
on there.
have a regular DM inspiration?
I might.
Remember, you
Yeah, I
showed
have
us that
2.
tracking thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I have 2.
I got 11 also.
So 14.
All right. The like as Dirk is looking at the mirror, she, uh, she sees Lady Emma, who's sort of like off in the corner, like poking the Murphy bed at the moment, poking the top of the coffin at the moment, sort of stand up suddenly and begin to incant magic words and make mystic symbols in the air and form up this little like planetoid of fire as she's about to like as if she's about to cast a fireball. Like Emma in the room isn't doing that. The Emma in the mirror is doing that.
I hate to interrupt, but there's a me with a fireball.
All right, you have one moment. So this is like click trap moment essentially. This for like Emma, if you're not familiar with this concept, this is like click the trap has gone off. Do something. So, Krishana, what are you doing?
She's gonna go eek and try and jump underneath the bed.
All right,
The flammable
try to
bed?
pull the bed down. Athletics check. Because this is folded up at the moment, so it's folded up like a Murphy bed into the wall.
13.
You're yanking on it, mightily. It is not coming down. Lady Emma, what are you doing? You happen to have counterspell, by the way, Lady Emma.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to cast some sort of counter spell.
All right, do you have the third level spell counterspell? I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah, let me check. Oh, third level spell. I do not.
Is the mirror like attached to the wall or hanging from something or
No,
freestanding?
it's a like a full length mirror, maybe about 8 feet tall, like on a freestand. You could knock it down, if that's what you're asking.
Yes, I want to either knock it down or I want to hit something into it. So I think knocking it down would be a better idea.
You want 7 years of bad luck?
Okay, Emma, what are you up to?
At the moment, I'm just standing frozen because I'm not sure what to do.
Okay. Well, if you have like elemental resistance, you may want to cast like the third level spell elemental resistance. You may want to cast resistance to fire on yourself at least, so you do not get roasted here in about half a second. Let's see
Oh,
here.
can I cast an absorb element spell for the
Sure.
fire?
Yeah, you cast it as a reaction at that point. So yeah, we'll say you have it ready at this point. All right, Mac, what are you doing?
I'm gonna do as the green alien pickle man told me and dodge out of the
Okay.
way.
All right, you dash for the stairwell and dive down it. Athletics check not to basically mangle yourself on the way down. Because you're pretty sure the fireball is going to fill the whole room, so you pretty much
25.
have to go down the stairs.
Nice.
Okay, no problem. You basically do the stuntman fall down the stairs, get back up at the end, and are at the split second before you can see a burst of fire like enter the room. Zumlar, what are you doing?
I'm going to break the mirror.
All right, you swing your sword through the mirror and fall through it to the other side. You are now in mirror land, as there seems to be angry versions of yourself, basically an angry version of yourself drawing its sword ready to face you.
Oh, shit.
Didn't see that coming.
No, I did not. I look back, and can I see everyone else on the other side of the mirror?
Everybody else on the other side of the mirror, as everybody else is looking at you, it's like, okay, which one is which now? I can't tell.
Do the other ones have like goatees or something?
No, they do not. The mirror universe ones do not have.
Just checking.
All right.
Yeah, my character's a braided goatee.
All right.
So any of them that does.
So evil Zumlar basically stabs good Zumlar and basically charges his blade with blinding white holy energy as you take 17 points of damage. As he was waiting for somebody to fall through the mirror because he wasn't able to come through to the other side or affect the other side because you made your save. But now that you've entered Mirror Universe land, he can attack you.
Oh!
However, you can see the mirror on this side as well as this way, so you figure you could probably leap back through. But at this point, he was ready for you on the other side as he stabs you. It's like,
So yeah, I'm going to jump back over when I get the chance.
okay, well, you have the chance right now, so I need a dex save to like leap back quickly.
Dex save?
Yes.
15.
Okay, no problem. You leap back as quickly as you enter the mirror universe. You leap back. As his second stab basically narrowly misses you as you leap back into the real world, and then Dirk, I'm assuming you're trying to pull down the mirror and
I definitely want to knock the mirror down. Yes.
Okay, so I need do a dex save so you don't accidentally stick your hand into the mirror surface.
Yeah, I don't recommend sticking your hand anywhere near it.
Okay, I'm going to use my DM inspiration for that because that did not go well. That's a 22, so that's a dex save.
You grab the edge of the frame and flip the mirror downwards. The mirror like blasts back up straight as fireball basically explodes on your side of the mirror, and then the mirror sort of like crashes back against the back wall and basically flops like face up towards the ceiling, as a blooming fireball like rips through the room. Okay, so everybody dex saves except for Mack, who is out of the way at the moment. DC 14.
Okay. 21.
12.
You have inspiration.
23.
Well, never mind. You have absorb elements up, so that should be okay.
17.
Hold on.
Okay, so the fireball does 29 points of damage. Lady Emma, you already have absorb elements up, so you take half damage automatically, and if you make your save, you take quarter damage. Okay.
So 7.
So yeah, I think that would be 7 for Lady Emma, and then everybody else takes half of 29 or 29 appropriately. All right, the fireball explodes in the room. Everything in the room is on fire. The dresser is on fire. The carpet's on fire. The bed is on fire. The only thing that does not appear to be on fire is the coffin.
And me out in the hallway.
and Mack, who had the forethought to dive down the hallway.
I think Dirk wants to like swat at himself and put out anything that's on actively fire right now, and then look to see if the mirror looks like it has gone inactive, or if we need to flip it over or try to break it.
Well, you may want to cover it at this point, you're guessing. There are no cracks in the mirror, basically. Even the violent rocking and smashing against the wall did not crack it.
Can we knock the dresser over on top of it?
Well, I'm saying they're opposite corners of the room, so if you want to, someone runs to roll an athletics check to pick up the dresser and drop it on top of the mirror, you're certainly more than welcome to do so.
Is the dresser on fire at the moment?
Yes.
Do we see anything else we could cover it with, like the covers from the bed, maybe?
Well, the covers on the bed are certainly available, but they're on fire at the moment, so
everything's on fire.
Yeah, but I don't want it to go on. I don't want it to do frost next, right? We got to take the mirror out.
Okay. All right. So, Krishana, are you grabbing like bed sheets and trying to toss them over the mirror at this point?
Yeah, I was closest to the bed.
Okay. All right, Emma, are you doing the same? Is that an athletics roll to throw bed sheets over or move the dresser, or what are you doing?
I was trying to move the dresser, but
okay. So, okay, Dirk, also roll to move the dresser. Since
I was thinking can I just do a helping action for her?
Okay, that's fine. Roll again, Emma. So another athletics check.
13.
Okay. So there is a lot of heaving and huffing. You've sort of got it like 3/4 of the way across the room, but you haven't gotten it up to the mirror yet. Krishana, let's see, grabs the flaming bed sheets and down comforter and tosses them over the top of the mirror.
I will come in and help with the dresser.
All right. But by the time Mack gets up there, basically, that 3 of you are more than enough to move the dresser. You end up breaking some sort of mechanism, essentially that was attached to the bust on the top, and you hear this loud patang noise as you break it away from the floor, and drop it on top of the flaming bed sheets, on top of the mirror. You could hear basically this sort of like steady, like crunching and cracking noise, as if the weight of the dresser and the bedding is beginning to crack the mirror. And a few moments later, you hear this horrible glass shattering sound, like, and then you see blood seeping out from underneath the bed sheets, as there's a smell of burnt blood all through the room now, as there's this sort of like pyre of blood and bed sheets and dresser all beginning to burn.
Weird.
Okay, I need con saves from everybody because the room is engulfed in smoke at this point. All of you are having trouble breathing.
Here comes another 8.
Don't jinx yourself.
Got a 10.
Okay, I got a 15.
Okay, got a 17.
Okay, so this is DC 15. Full damage is 10. Half damage is 5. It's non-specific damage, so your resistances do not apply. This is just
smoke
general
inhalation damage.
Smoke damage, so asphyxiation. Which I don't
think
there's
I'm
any.
going to need to down some of my health potions.
Okay, that would be a good plan.
I like that idea.
All right, at this point, all of you retreat back down the stairs and smoke rises. You're sort of unless you have some way of putting out the fires at this point, everything in the room continues to burn and fill the whole corridor and the room above with smoke.
Only fools and smoke like high places.
Okay.
I literally lost 43 hit points just from that alone.
Okay.
All like from everything we just did.
Okay. All right, so So Zumlar is like badly burnt and has bad smoke inhalation as he's like coughing up a lung, and his left side of his face is burnt black, as well as like his hands basically like has second and third degree burns over like 40%, 50% of his body.
I'm just muttering, son of a bitch, how the hell?
That's rough, buddy.
All right, so
everything's burning except the coffin, right? So we still haven't.
everything is pretty except the coffin. Yes.
Yeah, so we still haven't resolved the coffin, but I think we need to fall back for a bit, guys.
Fall back
Everything
down
hurts.
you fall back down to the room with 5 beds in it. You happen to recall that the kitchen had like a cistern with some water, like a magical cistern with some water in it. So you head back to the kitchen and like wash off your faces and touch up your burns. At this point, everybody heals up 3 hit points from doing so. It's like the water offers great relief from the being badly scorched by a fireball. As you're like dusting the suit off your armor and coughing up a lung into like wet rags at the moment. It's like you're trying to figure out what to do next. It's probably going to be a good 10-15 minutes before everything in that room burns out.
Son of a bitch.
Did anybody want to cure wounds? I can give out 2 or 4.
Well, you're a celestial warlock, aren't you, Krishana?
Yeah, I was gonna try and save those in case someone dies, but I could spend those too.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I used a couple of potions, or I used a potion, and thank you for the 3, so I'm not too bad.
Yeah, I used my potion of healing, so I'm doing okay too.
Oh, and I have lay on hands and cure wounds.
Yes, you do.
What am I doing?
Heal thyself.
I am still.
People patch yourselves up as best you can at this point. You're fairly unsure whether or not you want to be taking another short rest in here or not, since you've already realized that there are some other magical effects going on in here and curses that will interrupt your short rest if you attempt to do them in here.
Where even is here? Where are we?
The kitchen.
Well, I'm saying you've gone back down into basically the throne room and the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And you're waiting for the master bedroom to finish burning, because otherwise there's no traversing up to the room above it, because it is also filled with smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing with the mirror mount have alerted anybody who was scrying. So I don't know that we want to down here. Meanwhile, guys, what do you think we can do about trying to deal with that coffin? It wasn't even burning from the fireball. Do you think there's any way that we can damage it?
Does it really matter?
Well, it looks like
Probably matters. It probably matters if there's a Davenport in there. If there's not a Davenport in there, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let's just try it anyway, just to be on the safe side, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've got our holy water and our stakes and our. I think
everybody. Yeah, sure. You could consecrate it to basically make it no longer a useful place to rest for a vampire. So. Okay, so is everybody done healing at this point?
Yep.
Okay, so
I'm
that's
all
a yes
right.
for everybody. Okay, you head back up. There is a thick pall of smoke still hanging in the air. You have wet rags that you sort of tied around your mouth and nose at this point, that's cutting down on the smoke inhalation at this point. The bed has sort of burnt is still slightly on fire. The wood is basically like bits of the large like double king bed are still slowly burning at this point, down to a smolder. There's sort of a thick pile of hot ash towards one side of the coffin, and the other side of the coffin seems to be sticking out of that. If you try to move the coffin, it is definitely bolted to the floor, so it is definitely not moving. And you can see like simple well, there's no latches per se on it. It looks like there's a simple hinge basically opens it up. There's no keyholes either. Detect magic does not detect any sort of magical traps.
Detect evil and good.
There is undead. There is a powerful undead in this thing.
Oh. Okay, so we know possibly Davenport's here.
Okay, so do we want to just open it up and try and stab it with the stakes, or do we want to try and make a plan?
I say holy water and stakes.
That is, if we can even bust through this thing.
Can
Well,
Lady Emma
it doesn't appear to be latched at all. Essentially, there's no latches, there's no locks on this thing. You sort of like give it the Dirk basically carefully prizes it open a little bit with a crowbar and just looks for basically buttons or traps and doesn't find any. And since there weren't any magical traps, as far as he could tell, it's not a trapped object.
Other
Can
than the
Lady
fact
Emma
that there is
cast
a.
a-
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, can Lady Emma cast a protection from evil and good spell?
On yourself, absolutely. So
Sounds like a
that will
solid
prevent
idea.
you from basically getting charmed by the vampire, which is always a good thing. Okay, so does everybody try to flip it open, basically murder whoever's inside? Is that the plan at this point?
Yeah, I'm going to cast
Yep.
protection on myself as well.
Protection for good and evil. All right, great. All right. So keep in mind, if you have protection for good and evil on you, you cannot be mesmerized or mind controlled. So, and I think you have what is it? Any evil entity has any extraplanar entity, and undead or aberrations have disadvantage to attack you.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. So remind me of that if they attack you. All right. So you flip over the coffin. Everybody has stakes and holy water ready. As you splash holy water in there, you see a gorgeous young man that with sort of reddish brown hair, and he's in a deep, deep sleep. It is definitely it is the sort of spitting image of what is it? Kevin Davenport, sort of the youngest of the Davenport siblings. He sort of looks like to be in his late teens. His sort of long hair has been sort of put in a loose pony behind his head, and he's sort of like he's sleeping vampire style with his hands crossed over his chest. You do not see his chest raise and fall as if he's breathing. He just seems to be sleeping the sleep of the dead. Until you splash him with holy water, and it starts to sizzle and burn like acid, and you hammer a stake through his chest. So whoever is going to hammer the stake through his chest, I would like you to make an advantage attack roll at this point.
Surprise
well,
attack.
It's inspiration. I'm thinking inspiration.
So that's a natural 20.
Woohoo!
You pretty much stake him to the floor of the coffin, and he's like, he makes this horrible gurgling noise as if and then it's as if he were paralyzed, as he sort of like furtively looks around at you as his flesh begins to melt and burn as you continue to pour more and more vials of holy water on him as he dies the true death in like horrible agony as his body melts away from his bones. Okay, so everybody has among all of you at this point, you have like 5 bottles of holy water left.
Okay.
So each of you use up effectively 2. So that being said, essentially, I guess that means you only technically have 2 bottles of holy water left because you had to use 3 of them to consecrate the other graves, the other sleeping points. So
Yeah.
below Kevin's bones as they sort of melt into the grave dirt behind him, leaving a fanged skeleton in its wake, is a black sword that in a black sheath with sort of like vaguely bat motifed cross guards that was probably he was lying on directly previously. But now it has vampire goo all over it.
Yuck. Oh, so can Dirk identify that?
Okay. Dirk, as you take the blade, it's like it's mainly intended for vampires. It's not going to be as effective, essentially, for a mortal, but it allows you to drain the life of the living to add to your own health. And you also identify it as the what is it? It has a name. It is Vampire Draculus.
So, who does anybody need a sword?
I think I know a lady that would very much appreciate that, but I haven't seen her for a few weeks.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I want nothing to do with it, but she might know what to do with it.
Yeah, Al should be back next week. Does anybody? I think she probably would like this. Does anybody else feel good about it?
I'm not much of a sword user.
Well, let's put it. Zumlar is not going to draw. This is obviously an unholy weapon, so Zumlar is not going to want it.
Nope.
Well, if nothing else, we can.
I think
give it to the
Avani would like
sisters.
that.
Yeah, or we can check it out with the Sisters of Mercy. I don't think we want to just leave it down here for one of the other Davenports to retrieve it.
Okay.
Krishana wants to go inspect the dresser and hope that there's clothes left over.
The dresser is like burnt into ash as well as anything that was in it. There's probably no traps in the room because the mirror of opposition by itself probably is like deadly enough. Let's put it that way. So which was the mirror effectively in the corner. So the mirror opposition is broken at this point. Let's see here. So its magic is no longer active. Let's see. Was there anything in the desk? You can roll me a d20. If you roll an 18 or better, something in their desk survived. Otherwise, it is burnt to ash at this point.
I'll roll.
I know you don't want me to.
18.
Okay. So among the ash of the dresser, essentially still extremely scalding hot as like Dirk picks it out. But as Zumlar spots something glittering in there and pokes at it with his sword, and then eventually Dirk manages to pick it out of the smoldering embers with mage hand. Is a partially melted amulet with a large ruby, like large pigeon egg size ruby in it. The details are slightly melted off, but it does appear to be a magic amulet of some sort.
Explains why it survives the fire. Wonder what it does.
Well, that is for Identify to find out probably later on, since you need about a minute or I think you need 10 minutes to cast Identify.
Yeah, Ritual basically adds 10 minutes onto whatever the casting time is of a spell.
Yeah, I think Dirk's gonna put that in his bag of holding, and some time we can either do that or ask the mistress to help.
Okay, let's see. Okay, it takes 1 minute to cast, so 11 minutes total if you're going to cast it ritually, or 1 minute if you're casting it in normally. Okay, from here, you've retrieved Vampire Draculus, the longsword of the Davenports, and an amulet of some sort that where a lot of his features have sort of been melted off. So it's sort of like this weird blobby figure, sort of like clasping essentially a pigeon-shaped ruby. And then let's see, heading to the next level. There, you notice that there's another. Your detect magic indicates there's another magical trap line up on the next flight of stairs. Do you want to try the same Echo Knight trick here to see if that works?
Yeah, I can summon my Echo Knight infinite number of times. It's just I can only attack with it so many times.
You rush it forward, and poof! There's another blast of like incredibly potent frost magic that fills the corridor with ice and rime. as you carefully make your way up and try not to slip, and eventually you end up in an office. So it's this room here, effectively, this one right there.
Okay.
So in one corner of the room is a large tome that is open to some random page. In the left-hand side of left wall, there is a portrait of Benedict Davenport. And the left, I guess the left south corner is a statue of Benedict Davenport in full regalia and armor, carved of some red stone. To the right is what appears to be a huge dragon skull that has been propped up on a plinth on the. So, what dragon type it is essentially is require a nature check. And then dominating the northeast corner of the room is a large high back chair, a desk, and then a sort of simpler guest chair sort of sitting directly opposite of it. The desk is full of papers and like inkwell and writing implements, as if there's this sort of like messy organization system basically going on there. But yes, that is what you see. And then there's a rug under the guest chair. So that is what you see when you enter the room.
Can I walk towards the desk and look at some of the papers?
All right. As you walk towards the desk,
Carefully walk towards it, just in case.
You carefully walk to the desk. The skull in the predictably, or maybe not so predictably, the statue in the southwest part of the room animates and limbers up a sword and shield as it makes heavy thud, like multi-ton thuds as it basically stomps across the heavily plush carpeted room. The skull on the plinth on the southeast side of the room sort of floats up in the air, and the glow of undeath basically ripples into its eyes as it begins to cackle maniacally. Okay, so I need everybody to make me con saves as the laughing skull laughs.
That's a 19.
I failed with a 6.
15.
All right, so 15 is what
I
you
got
need.
protection.
Full damage is like 22 necrotic, half damage is 11 necrotic.
Natural 20 for once.
All right, so full damage is 22 necrotic, half damage is 11 necrotic damage. As the cackling skull basically literally makes your brain leak out your ears.
I hate when that happens.
Okay, and then everybody roll me initiative at this point. The stone golem doesn't really get to engage until the very end of the round. So,
I got 4 for my initiative.
yeah.
7.
19. There we go.
All right. How is Emma doing there?
Give her a second. She's struggling.
Okay.
Oka Krishana. 22.
All right, just gonna Krishana then. Krishana.
She
So
got
you
a
have
9.
you have a cackling dragon skull that is basically cause a pulse of negative energy to like wash over the lot of you and rip the souls partially from your body. Lady Emma, keep in mind you're resistant to necrotic damage, so you take half damage to begin with. So it's either half or quarter damage for you. And initiative. Okay, so yeah, we got Krishana going up first. What are you doing?
I am going to seek cover and cast a 2nd level Cure Wounds on me.
Okay, you retreat back to core, down the stairs, and cast Cure Wounds on yourself. Mack, you're up.
Seeing the skull fly around the room, I'm a bit hungry, and I would like to go after the tasty bone.
Okay, roll the hit.
Oh, I would also like to rage.
Okay, got it.
What's its AC?
AC is 15.
Alright, that's 1 hit. I'm gonna do an echo hit as well. 2 hits. Oh, that was so close. For 20 slashing / chewing damage.
All right. You grab the skull is like light in your hands. It's maybe barely weighs maybe about less than 10 pounds. As you, for its size, because it's kind of large, it's like the size of a beach ball. You sort of like yank it down from the air, and maybe it's the fact that it's levitating there, but it feels like nothing in your hands as you begin to like tear and twist at it. It begins to crack severely as if it's not long for this world. So you probably took more than half of its hit points just in one attack. Let's see here. And who was next? Okay. I guess it is the skull's turn at this point.
Is it? No, I didn't. Never mind. I didn't specify a grapple.
Well, I'm just saying you haven't grappled at this point. You haven't held it.
Sure. I'll take what I can get.
Okay. It's the fierce blue glow of undeath in its eyes basically catch your eyes as you can feel your soul like shoot out of your body as you take an additional 15 points of necrotic damage as its eye ray basically contacts you straight with you in the middle of the chest as you see your soul leave your body.
Arrgh!
Okay, now it's everybody else's turn. So, Lady Emma.
Lady Emma is going to grab the skull and she's going to, I don't know, like step on it really hard.
All right, so all right, you're taking turns whacking on the skull at this point. So I would not normally suggest just casting spells on it at this point because that's your specialty technically as a wizard.
Yeah. I don't know if I have anything useful right now.
All right. Well, do you have cantrips like an attack cantrip like firebolt or shocking grasp or anything along those lines? Or first level spell like magic missile?
Okay, what do I have for my actions?
Would she have had arcane recovery when we did the short rest?
Yes, absolutely.
Lady Emma, had you calculated that yet? Because I think you can get back.
At least just 2 levels worth of spells.
Yeah.
So first level or 1 second level spell.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna stick with the unarmed strike.
Okay, we'll assume you have a staff at least. Okay, so you whack on it, hard rap with the staff. Unfortunately, it sort of deflects off the hard bone. It doesn't do any damage, so you miss this time. Right, and Zumlar.
Gonna look at the golem, and I'm going to attack the golem with.
Yeah, you spin around to engage the golem because you don't have a good feeling that anybody else can go engage this thing. As you intercept it before it gets to anybody else. All right, so what are you doing?
I am going to use Searing Smite. Wow, my voice just broke there. I'm hitting puberty.
Need to install
It
new
was
voice
from
packs.
all that smoke inhalation in the bedroom.
Exactly.
Right? So I'm going to use Searing Smite, and then for my first attack, that's a 19 to hit.
Okay, it has 18 AC, so go ahead.
Seven smite for that one. So 11 total for that first attack, and then do I have? As a paladin, I'm going to use Divine Smite. On it. Is it considered a fiend?
It's considered undead, so yes.
Mhm.
Oh, never mind. It's a golem. It is not considered a fiend.
It's mechanical, I believe.
It's a construct, so no, you do not get extra bonus bug damage on this guy.
I'm going to use actually Nature's Wrath.
Okay.
Or hold on. Actually, I'm going to use Turn the Faithless.
Turn the Faithless. Okay.
See if I could help us attack the skull. So it's
Okay.
DC.
Well, the skull remains where it is, unfortunately.
I got a good grip on it.
No, I mean the golem attacks the skull. We'll use Turn the Faithless on the golem.
Okay. Well, let me see what Turn the Faithless does.
Each fey or fiend within 30 feet of you that. Oh no, it's undead.
Yeah. Well, okay. This guy is a construct. He's like he's a
Oh no, it's construct. Yeah.
he's a construct. He's literally a golem made of stone.
So that's not gonna work. Never mind. So Nature's Wrath I'm gonna use.
Nature's Wrath. Okay, got it.
DC 13. Or be restrained.
All right. All right, so it easily, unfortunately, tears through the roots and vines of Nature's Wrath. Go ahead and give yourself the extra d6 of damage, though, on your attack.
Okay. So that's an unnatural 20.
Yay.
That's a. Oh, whoops, wrong roll. Where is it? Nope. Back. I keep hitting the wrong button. That's a 4 plus.
And then you get an extra d6 from Nature's Wrath.
5.
All right, the golem does not seem to be damaged by this. I hear it has a lot of hit points. Okay, so let's see here. Krishana, back at the top of the round.
Well, I think Dirk needs to go
I'm
first.
sorry, Dirk.
So, is Max still holding the skull?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm not
I
gonna,
got it in my mouth.
yeah, I'm not gonna hit it with shatter because I think that would be a bad thing. Maybe I'll hit shatter on the golem, so that'll be a con save of 14 for it.
Okay, the golem is vulnerable to shatter, so give me double damage.
Okay.
Most constructs and/or buildings are.
That's
It's a very
24
useful
damage.
spell.
Yeah.
All right, a big chunk of the golem's helmet fractures and falls off, sort of revealing what appears to be a skull, like a human skull underneath, as if the underlying base of this golem was a person at some point or another.
And then for bonus action, Dirk is going to cast Bardic Inspiration on Mack.
Okay, got it.
Woohoo!
Krishana, you're up.
I'm gonna run back into the room and.
Oh, I forgot to have the golem do its thing. Sorry, it acts at the end of the round.
It
All
is
right.
a slow boy.
Let me do that. All right, I need a con save for everybody as the golem at this point breathes out this misty gray gas out in front of it that fills the room.
Got a 12.
21.
Okay, so DC is 15. If you fail to save, you are slowed. You may only take an action, a bonus, or a move. You may not take the combination of the three anymore.
Yeah, slow is a brutal spell.
Oh
And
no.
is that until the end of his next round, or?
All right, I got 16.
That's a good question. I don't know if you continue to make saves with slow or if you're just stuck that way for the
Are
rest
you
of
saying this to the effects of the slow spell, or is this an ability?
This is the slow spell.
Slow spell, I believe you make saves on. Don't quote me on that, though. Wouldn't hurt to double check.
All right. Okay, so that's everybody. Right, definitely is everybody in the ranks. Everybody's speed is halved. AC penalty of -2 is applied. Dex.
If you fail, that is correct.
If you fail, yeah.
Yeah.
-2 to AC. Dexterity. You cannot use reactions. Okay, you can only use an action or a bonus, but not both.
Your movement's halved, I think.
You may not make more than one melee attack or one ranged attack during your turn. And if you are casting a spell, if you roll an 11 or higher on a d20, it goes off the next round rather than the round you were intending. So if your spell takes into action to cast. You get another. Okay, never mind. You get a wisdom saving throw at the end of each of your turns. Okay, so this is technically the stone golem's ability, so it is a con save, by the way.
Con save, but otherwise all the normal effects of slow, correct?
Exactly, that's correct.
Yeah, just trying to get the rules straight for everyone.
Okay.
Anyway, I made it, thankfully. So,
Okay, so end of each of your rounds, you get to save again. All right, so it is its action to do this, so that is all it does this round.
I'm going to use that last inspiration.
Okay.
That's just brutal, and it's still no good. Never mind.
I'm gonna
Exactly.
Emma, you were saying something?
I'm also gonna use my inspiration.
Okay, so try to reroll the save and see if you can do better. Go ahead.
This is a good place.
Ooh, 16.
nice!
You,
Okay.
you are not slowed then. You were happy about this. Okay. All right, Krishana, you're up.
Krishana will run into the room and fire 2 eldritch blasts at the skull and then run back out.
Okay, go ahead, roll to hit. Skull has 15 AC.
I got 1 natural 20 with 18 damage total.
Okay. You blow away the skull, shards of it shoot out of Mack's mouth as his teeth vibrate for a second as he gives you a dirty look.
And I look for a big piece, and as a free action, I just grab it for later.
Okay, got it.
Tasty snack.
The whole bits of the skull suddenly become a lot heavier, that it's no longer levitating in the air. All right. So Krishana, you blow it away. You have a second attack still. Go ahead and apply it to whoever you want, which I assume is the golem.
I failed one of my attacks with like a 6.
Okay, so the other shot bounces off the golem. All right, Mack, you're up.
Now that my snack has been disintegrated, it was the skull, the golem, and was there anything else?
Just those 2 things.
All right.
There's a
I will.
portrait that we're going to need to take out, but I don't think it's in a net.
First things first. Second wind.
Okay.
And next thing, I'm going to try to, I guess, I don't know if this is possible based on the golem's size, but I will try to grapple it and
Okay, well,
restrain it.
It's human sized. It's like medium size, so it's like just fine. Okay, roll athletics. You need to get a 22.
And I am raging, so advantage.
Yes.
And I guess I also have my echo helping me with this. I don't know how you want to rule that. No.
So that's it. You just have advantage then.
I got a 16.
All right, you go. Oh my god, this thing weighs a lot.
I guess
As
I
you're
must
trying to
just
bend
beat
its
in its
arm,
face.
like, yep, that is definitely made of stone. It's like, you try to do some joint manipulation. It's like, no. All right, you got 2 attempts because you no, never mind. You only have 1 attack currently, right? You're not all barbarian.
No, I could I get 1 extra attack if I use my Echo's Fury ability. So if you
But you
like,
could try to grapple again, sure. If you want to use
sure,
your
I'll
Echo
burn one of
Fury.
those. Works for me.
All right, your Echo is grabbing one side and you're grabbing the other.
Fuck, I got a 14. No.
All right, so you're going. Okay, you and your Echo are both struggling to like move this golem even an inch. So, okay, so let's see. The skull is dead. So, Lady Emma.
Lady Emma is going to use her chill touch.
Okay, you roll to hit. It has AC 18. You have probably about 6 or 7 plus 6 or 7. So, you need probably about 12 or better.
I got a 20.
Okay, very good.
Nice.
All right, you blast it with Chill Touch. Roll me 2d8, and that is how much damage you do.
I got a 9.
Not bad.
Bits of stone basically rot and wither into basically gray dust on it. Let's see here, and then Zumlar.
I am going to strike it with my sword.
All right.
That's a natural 20 for the first one.
Okay.
That's 11 for the second one.
All right. Do you have a magic weapon?
I do not.
I don't think
Okay.
any of us do yet.
All right. If you want to use
I
smite,
can-
certainly generate some smite damage. Otherwise, the sword part bounces off.
Yes, I'll use some smite. Divine smite, 2d8. Nine damage.
All right, got it. And then did the second one hit?
No, the second one missed.
Okay. Your sword at this point like chips really badly. You're going, oh, that's bad. That's bad. As you can see, a deep bend in your sword at the moment. As you've sort of literally hit a brick wall with your sword at the moment. Let's see here. And that was Zumlar, and then Dirk.
Yeah, Dirk would like to try and cast Shatter again, so that's a con 14.
Do I also have to make that save?
Since you're grappling it, yes.
Oh, okay.
It's probably worth it, given that it takes double damage and he only takes the normal damage.
Yeah. Guess what? I rolled another 2, so
Okay.
full damage. But that's why I second winded.
Okay, so everybody was able to save out of the slow effect, right?
No, Dirk was
Yeah.
not. So Dirk is about to roll and see if this spell is going to take effect now. But that's going to be 30 damage on the golem. And I got a 9, which I think means that I cast now. Is that right?
No, you have to roll 11 or better,
Oh,
essentially.
okay. So will do my next turn. Is that?
It'll go off next round, yes.
Okay. So you have enough time to if you ungrapple it.
Dodge. Yeah. And
you have time, right?
I know it's Shatter is a con save, right?
Yes, that's correct.
But I can see it coming. So how do you want to rule? We'll get to it on my turn.
Well, your basically danger sense really only applies to. Yeah, it only applies to deck saves, so that's how we're gonna rule it.
Got it.
And then I don't get any other actions because I'm slow.
That is correct.
Take the short bus.
All right.
I actually.
In one of those like, wow, these golems blows are impossibly slow. It's like, It's like as if it were in molasses, but you see it connect with Zumlar once, and then there's a horrible crunching noise as Zumlar goes flying across the room suddenly and takes 18 points of damage.
Ouch.
Okay. That's an owie. Oof, now 170.
All right, let's see here. And then I need another con save.
From me?
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, that's a big number.
My my 0 got stuck.
Oh.
Fuck.
I hate when that happens.
There we go.
So Zumlar, you find yourself like moving incredibly slowly. That or the whole world started speeding up. It's hard to really tell, but you are slowed at the moment. Okay, let's see here. That was Gollum at the end of the round. Back up to Krishana.
I will do the same thing I did last time. Aiming
All
at
right.
this one.
It has AC 18. Roll to hit.
I got one attack that hit with the natural 20, 12 damage total.
Another one.
There's there's definitely cracks appearing in the Golem at this point. Mack.
Try and grapple it again.
Okay, go right ahead.
And I'm still raging, so advantage. Are you fucking shit? I will burn another one.
Well, it got a 12 this time as opposed to 22 like last time.
Oh, 13 then.
Okay, so
Never mind.
yes,
I will not
grapple
burn
it.
another one. But
You want to
so
try
yeah.
to do a knockdown at this point, or you do actually want to hold it?
Let's knock it down because this thing does not seem to be able to move super great on its own.
Okay, so you manage to topple it at this point and crashes to the ground. Thud. The whole floor vibrates from the weight. It's like this thing must weigh like multiple tons. It was like as you quickly get your paws out of the way, so you don't get it pinned under a foot or a leg of this thing. Okay, so let's see here. All right, that was both of your grapple attempts, or
That
you
was
didn't
just
use-
one.
you want to
13
use
was
an
one
echo?
roll. Come again?
Do you want to use an echo for your second attack or no?
No. For now, I'm all right for now.
Okay.
Oh, I will. If you'll let me get out of this thing's reach so that Dirk can possibly shatter it again, if they want.
You're moving away at this point. Emma, what are you up to?
Same thing. Gonna use the chill touch again.
Okay, roll to hit with advantage.
17.
All right, you hit. Give me 2d8.
7.
All right. Your chill touch is continuing to chip away at it as you see more stone chips like degrade and fall off. Let's see here, Zumlar. You are prone on the other side of the room, but that's only about 20 feet away, so you can jump back up your feet and get re-engage if you want to. So,
Or barrel roll across the room.
I will use my Witcher combat roll.
Yeah, I'm going to jump up to my feet and throw a javelin this time.
Okay, roll to hit twice. Oh, never mind. That's not going to do anything. It's like
Oh, that's right. I'm going to use a moonbeam. How about that?
There you go. All right, takes full damage. Give me full damage.
2d10. 12.
All right, there's a a radiant beam of light shoots down and chops off more of its helmet, revealing like a grinning skull underneath where the helmet, where the personage should normally be. It's as if basically you have the skull of a person like embedded in plaster in this thing. Okay, Tree, your attack goes off, does 30 sonic damage to this thing.
Okay. And I think I was supposed to do a wisdom save at the end of the last one to see if I was going to continue going slow.
Yeah, save effectively. This thing causes slow.
So that was an 11.
Okay, that still doesn't free. You need 15 or better.
Okay. Okay. So so the one from last time goes off, and I'm gonna cast it again.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna roll to see if it goes off this time or next time. And that is a nat 1. So I guess it's going to wait. And then I guess I roll to see if I'm still gonna be going. I roll for this turn, right? I would save for this turn. So wait, oh no, it's con save, right?
Yes, con.
Okay.
The spell is normally wisdom, but this is different, so we're doing con.
So that's 11.
Okay, so you are still slowed.
Okay.
Let's see. All right, the golem like levers itself back up. You get an attack of opportunity, Mack. As it lumbers on towards Dirk at this point in an attempt to murder Dirk.
25.
Okay, you hit. Give me damage.
With 9 slashing damage.
Okay.
Rawr!
You gnaw on its back, essentially little chips flitter away. You're still it's like damn, this thing is tough.
This thing don't taste as good as the skull.
All right. It sort of double hands Dirk on both shoulders as everybody sees both of like Dirk's shoulders dislocate as Dirk takes 27 points of damage.
Oh.
I'm down.
That's gonna leave a mark.
Yep. Boom. I'm gone.
Okay. Since you're already slowed, you cannot be slowed anymore. Let's see here. And then okay, we're back at the beginning round. Krishana.
I run up and seeing Dirk down, I'm going to use bonus action Healing Light, which is 1d6,
Okay.
and then fire Sacred Flame at the dragon.
Thank you.
All right, you got 3 hit points, Dirk.
Yay, thank you.
Did Sacred Flame hit?
Oh, you're doing Sacred Flame. Okay, let's see here.
I think your audio dropped out for just a second.
Yeah, Sacred Flame hits. Give me your 2d8 damage.
Uh, 14 radiant damage.
14 radiant. Okay, your beam of radiant light shoots down from the ceiling, like impacts the skull that is exposed. The skull sort of shatters and fractures, and then the whole golem like blows apart in chunks, raining dust and plaster down on everybody in the room. Okay, so everybody in the room takes 3 points of crushing damage as sharp bits of stone like cut at their skin, and then there is silence in the room as all your ears are ringing from the explosion from the golem disintegrating.
And Dirk goes down again.
Everyone all right? Everyone still standing?
Dirk says nothing.
All right, you can see Dirk sort of lying in a corner with a piece of stone sticking out of his eye. It's just like, that does not look good.
If we're out of combat, I'm going to attempt to medicine check Stabilizer.
Okay, go ahead. You need 11 or better.
Can I just use Cure Wounds?
All right, go right ahead. So roll d8 plus your wisdom bonus.
16.
All right. Well, she's
We'll
stable. And
do a second level cure wounds. My last second level.
2d8 plus her 2d8 plus your wisdom ups.
That's 6.
All right. You have 6 hit points now, Dirk.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So this is where we're going to leave it for this evening. There obviously are things to explore in this room, but we'll cover it next week.
I'm chewing on a piece of skull.
Okay. So as far as scribble this down on your character right now, you can have some red dragon teeth or a red dragon horn. Essentially, that's effectively what is left of the skull.
Tasty.
Well done, sir. Thank you, Lawrence. That was amazing. And you guys, none of us died. It's a miracle.
You almost did.
Yeah, almost did a couple of times. Oh, it's
All right.
it's like
Get
everybody in
playing
the
with
party
everybody.
has a little healing, and we went through so many potions. Oh my gosh! Thank you, Lawrence.
Yeah, burning spells this time.
I mean,
All
if
right.
you don't, you smoke them if you got them.
All right. We'll catch
Good night,
everybody
guys.